has one last question, as I do, and then we'll wrap. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think during the course of this hearing, we haven't talked as much as we ought to about some of the, I think, really exciting and terrific applications that the crypto ecosystem makes possible. One of the categories that comes to mind is the ability to use stablecoins in conjunction with smart contracts. Basically, it turns into what I think of as programmable money, where you can write into the code a payment that will occur based on some exogenous and verifiable event, and the payment requires no human intervention. It just happens when the exogenous event occurs. So, Ms. Schulp, I wonder, first of all, could you comment on whether you think there's a lot of future in this idea of programmable money? And then secondly, I think you're familiar with the legislative framework that I've laid out for stablecoins. I think the heart of that is the requirement that we have 100% cash and cash equivalents as a backing for a stablecoin, and oversight by the OCC, but not the Fed. And I wonder if you would comment also on whether you think that is the right approach to regulating stablecoins.
Of course. So I do believe that stablecoins have a lot of promise, not only in terms of the programmable money concept that you state, but also in terms of just being a faster and more stable way to work within a digital ecosystem rather than relying on kind of our current creaky payment rails. Stablecoins can offer a lot of alternatives in that space where we have truly digital money. I am familiar with your legislation, and I think that it addresses what is one of the, I think, most obvious risks in the stablecoin space, which is the concern that stablecoin issuers do not have stable coins because the reserves that they have behind them might not be what they say they are. I think that there are a number of ways that you can go about creating a regulatory regime to take account of that risk. I myself have proposed kind of a disclosure-based framework that could be put into place by something like the SEC. In fact, it's very similar to the disclosure framework that you have proposed with the OCC. I do think it's important to separate that type of regulatory function from the federal monetary regulator, so that the Federal Reserve is not the one charged with handling regulation of kind of a money substitute here. There's a lot of conflicts of interest that can exist in that space, and I think it's wise to keep stablecoin regulation, which is something that I think is kind of low-hanging fruit at this point. There's obvious risks, and I think there are pretty obvious ways to deal with those risks in pretty simple fashion, but we should keep that type of regulation separate and apart from monetary regulation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.